would you care to explain what Fana Fi'Llah is? Or even if it is explainable.
Because I use that term. So he wants to know what this term Fana Fi'Llah is. It literally means to be annihilated in Allah. And the best example that I can think of for everybody to understand is that if you're ever watching a movie and you like the movie a lot and you're kind of engrossed in the movie, and as you're watching it, anybody here seen World War Z? Have you seen it? Was there parts when you were watching it when you were completely like, like the part when the zombies are taking over Israel? Like they're like climbing over the walls and all that. I mean, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. So when you're watching that, like I don't think you're thinking about exams. You're not thinking about, yogurt or something like. I don't know when people think about yogurt, but you certainly aren't thinking about yogurt. So when you're in a movie, like when you're looking at entertainment, the point of entertainment is to take you out of yourself. The point of entertainment is to take you out of yourself, so that you don't have to be that person for a moment or think about that person for a moment. That's why people like entertainment so much, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It is what it is. So when you're watching a movie and you're kind of focused in on the movie, if you look at someone watching a movie, like how does their face look? People don't really walk around like that. If you call their name, then they may not respond to you quickly, because they're not in themselves at that point. Where are they? They're in the movie, or is the movie in them? It's hard to say. Right? Are they in the movie, or is the movie in them? Don't know. But whatever it is, their state of consciousness is different. They're in a state of what they call fana. They're gone. They're not there anymore. Because you don't realize you're watching it. In those moments when you watch a movie, you don't remember that you're watching a movie. But the movie is definitely happening in you, isn't it? Because you're not sitting there thinking like, oh wow, I'm so engrossed in this movie. I'm really engrossed. No, all you're thinking is because it's happening in you. The movie is happening in you. It's not happening on the wall. It's happening in you. So it's hard to tell then at that point. Where are you? Are you in the seat or are you on the wall? Are you somewhere between the seat and the wall? Like where? Then the question comes: what is the you that's gone? You understand what I'm saying? There's a part of you that is There's a part of you that transfers like this. There's a part of you that can be somewhere else, even though your body's here. There's a part of you that can be somewhere else, and the entertainment industry knows that, so they make really vivid movies. So Fana Fi'Llah is like this: that you have Fana Fil Film, right? The first one is annihilation in the movie, and you can see that. But there's another type of annihilation you can have in God, where you say His name so much that something overcomes you to where you're no longer there anymore. And then you might even say things and do things that are not typical of you because it's not you. It's not your typical way. So for example, when you watch a movie, sometimes people can be very animated when they watch a movie, You're in a movie, you call it cinema here, you don't say movie theater, do you? So you're in the cinema and you hear no, don't open that door! Like, maybe not here, maybe not in England, because you guys are pretty reserved. In the United States, sometimes you can't even go to a movie theater because people are just too loud. They're just screaming and yelling and talking, like... Yeah, I noticed that, like, people from certain... Yeah, I noticed it's like a cultural thing. Like, I noticed, like white people tend to be really, like... can't hear anything. People from Africa tend to get more into the movie, which is cool actually. The people are different. But anyway, like Fana Fil Film is where you're no longer there. It's just a movie, and you're acting crazy. You wouldn't act that way outside. You wouldn't just be walking down the street and say, "Don't open that door." You wouldn't do that unless something's wrong with you. Then maybe you're seeing a different movie no one else is seeing. I don't know. But the same thing happens when you say Allah's name often. His name animates, just like the movie animates. His name animates in you; it becomes alive in you. And when that happens, there can't be two presences. So when you're watching the movie has a presence. That movie's presence takes over your presence because you can't put two things in the same place at the same time. Like I'm sitting here, you know, you can't come sit here. I mean, unless you sit on my lap, right? Right? You know, you can't occupy the same space at the same time. So that movie has a presence, and when you watch it, you kind of surrender to the movie in a sense. And you surrender your being to the movie, and the movie you become the movie. If that can happen with a movie, what do you think about Allah, the one who created the movie? So you say His name so much that His presence overcomes your own, so that you're not there anymore. That's called Fana Fi'Llah. It's the same concept. We do it all the time. We just do it with the wrong things. Inshallah. Then the question is, well, how are you supposed to survive? Like, how do you live when you're like that? Yeah, you don't really. Which is why it doesn't last very long, you know. Then they have this thing called baqa, which is going on. So you go on in Allah. Whereas before there was no you, and baqa, you go on in Allah. Some of this have called it La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So the first part, La ilaha illallah. I mean, in this case, existence, because Allah's essential attribute is existence. So when you say La ilaha illallah, you're saying nothing essentially exists but Allah. That's Fana. And then Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, meaning that Muhammad, this being, this person who is the slave of God, he is Rasulullah, and his just like the name is attached to Allah, he's going on in Allah. So some of them put it that way. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, which is obviously where we're supposed to be in the first place. So may Allah give us these things. May Allah give us Allah, and may Allah give us Rasulullah.